Hi, it's me, Jskat, and today we're gonna take a look at my project from yesterday. So, as you can see, my Singing Monsters data analysis with Dan to do. I spent 5 hours on this project, including this presentation. So, my Singing Monsters has a lot of different elements. 15 are measurable for this experiment. There are different amounts of elements in each monster. Like 2 to 4 elements is good for the experiment. Most elements have corresponding islands, with the exception of ethereal elements, which only has ethereal island. And the project requires extensive knowledge of elements or switching through multiple Google tabs to find a specific monster's info. So next, this is how to do this experiment and my stats. So first, find a tier list. If I just go here, this is the one that I used. It doesn't have everyone from the main game, but it does have a lot of them. And the second step is sort through the ones that do meet your requirements and don't. So this is every This is every monster with one element, and below is all of the usable monsters, which is actually a lot less than you would think. Okay. So, find a tier list. Examples of usable monsters has 2 to 4 unique elements. And mythical monsters are not usable for this experiment. Then create your tiers. Mine worked with best 2 element, 3 element, and 4 element, and then the worst 2 to 4 elements. And then anyone not placed in one of those categories goes in the neutrals, or non-award winners, as mine says. And then the last is unusable. There are a lot of them. Like, oh my god. Okay, then fill out the tier list. And then count the elements and put them into a spreadsheet. This is my spreadsheet. I work really well in color. That's not like that's a me specific thing. I don't know if other people do too. But yeah, let's take a look at the list. So I started with plant island, and then cold, air, water, earth, fire, light, psychic, fairy, and then bone, and then I just sprinkled in the what are they called, ethereal elements at the end. And I did it in this specific order because that's the order of the elements of their islands. And there is no element for Fire Oasis that's unique, which is why there's only one fire type winner. So like down this row, kind of. Now, any crossover between 2 elements in each category, like Gob is a plant and a light element, so he gains points for both plant and light. Don't mind the ads, I know it's horrendous. Now, you go through all of this, and you basically fill out the charts. Now, a few things. For the quads especially, Amber Island added a lot from Dawn of Fire. I did not know that these 2 guys specifically and these 2 were well-known monsters, and these guys too at the bottom. There are a lot. Okay, now once you've counted up every monster of each type, you are going to put them into this graph. This graph, you can see here, On the side, I have the different types. Then I have 2-element losses and wins. That's where they're worst or the best. Losses are in red, / worst is in red, green is in best. Then you count up the total for each element and subtract it to get your total points. As you can see, I have, in the pink is positive and in the blue is negative. That's actually by accident. And then you can take a look at your specific stats. If you have multiple that have the same amount of points in the end, you can like use your personal preference to rank them. For instance, I like bone element better than fire element. But yeah, my number 1 element is actually earth and number 2 is water, which makes kind of sense because I like fwog and stog. And then my least favorite by far is cold. That's the element that had the worst rep, especially in the worst 2 type. You can see that's cold, and that's cold, and that's cold, and that's cold. And then cold, 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 cold. I think tutu's cold. I don't really remember. But yeah. All of these guys with no awards, as I called them, they are just like regular monsters. And actually, Nebulob is the only ethereal to get no awards, and I don't really understand that. I'm sure there's a reason, but like, because we have, this is our best plasma, and this is our best Vec, worst, and worst. And so I guess Nebula, because he has those 2 elements, but he wasn't placed in either, is why he ended up there. And it's not always even. Like, for instance, in the 4 types, only 1 of the 4 types is magical. And literally all of the other magical 4 types right here got like a spot in the best. So that is just so interesting. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed like sharing it with you. Yeah, this is what I do for fun, guys. No joke. Bye! Subscribe.